That's right. It's the Joes back again. Can you feel the fantasy thunder? What's going on, Dave?
Hey, what a time to be alive. My Eagles play tonight and we gonna
Oh yeah.
fly.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
You better fly tonight. You guys are trying to sneak into the back door of the playoffs, and I don't know, a loss tonight. It doesn't. I don't think it mathematically eliminates you, but it puts you on the brink,
It hurts.
definitely. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I think actually that puts you a step closer because you guys in the NFC East, and you can take down the Redskins tonight. That doesn't put you atop the NFC East, does it? You'll be tied with the
Uh,
Skins, and how's Dallas looking?
yeah, we'll be tied with the Skins, and since Dallas has
Yeah,
beat
Dallas
us
is yeah,
and the Skins, and they beat the Saints,
yeah.
they'll be a record ahead and on top. But that's for that. We got fantasy playoffs
Oh yeah.
starting up too, man. This
Oh
is
yeah, this
great.
is a big week for a lot of people. I've made the fantasy playoffs in two of my five leagues. One of my leagues though is one even if you're in a toilet bowl so to speak or the consolidation not consolidation the consolation bracket I can
Yeah.
still win my money back and that's one of the bigger ones. That's like $50 buy-in on that one. So I'm still
Okay.
playing hard in that one, absolutely. But first off, we want to start as we always do and thank all the listeners. Thank you for guys for coming back and listening to the show and supporting us. Thank the people behind the scenes getting the word out about the show. Again, we appreciate you guys more than you know, and please continue to come back and support us. Do take 1 minute and hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. And certainly do visit us on online. We want to be interactive with you guys. You can leave comments right here on YouTube. You can visit us on Instagram, Average Joe's Fantasy Football. There is a underscore between each word, and then which is also on Facebook. And if you had actually been on Instagram with us, you would have gotten my start of the week, and that was Philip Lindsay from last week. Also, that was on the last podcast, and if you had one of those situations where you were asking yourself who to start, like Philip Lindsay or Nick Chubb, you would have listened to me and you would have came out on top. So again, be there with us, man. Be interactive. We do drop little nuggets. We can answer your start and sit questions. We're definitely here to help you guys out, most definitely. So do visit us there. And again, we do have some very exciting things coming down the pipeline here. We have the Listener League. We're trying to get filled up. We got a few people for that. We want to continue to have people apply to come into that league. And it's first come, first serve. So just drop us your name and email in the comments down below, or you can get us on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and you'll be in the Listener League with us for next year. Also, we are developing that website where we'll have some free content for you guys as well. That'll be coming out later on this year as well. We're going to skip over the question of the week this week, come back around to that on next Monday. We'll have a new question of the week where you can answer it and win whatever the prize will be for that coming up here. So that being said, man, how's things shaping up so far for your week, Dave?
Uh, it's been all right. Like I said, I'm in that one with the 120 teams,
Right.
and we're in our second week of the playoffs. And it's the guy. He needs 38 points from Josh Adams to beat me, so I'm
Wow.
doing pretty
Okay.
good there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the league I'm in with you that you commish. I was right there. I was on the brink of playoffs, man. The guy that I needed to lose lost, but
Yeah.
my team couldn't come out with a win for me.
Couldn't get that
So,
W. Okay.
yeah.
Well, in
That's
my
fine.
league, I kind of mirror that other league that I'm in. You still have something to play for. You do, for the winner of the consolation bracket, you can get your money back. So keep fighting, my friend. You'll get there. My week's going pretty good actually. Had a number of wins. I didn't win in the league that I'm in with the league that I actually commish. Left a lot of points on the bench, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on here in the show. But I left a lot of points on the bench, and it kind of hurts, when you could have won because I wanted to get that first round bye. And the reason I need that first round bye is because Melvin Gordon's likely going to be, I would probably say one more week at the very least. They say he's pretty close to returning, but I'll say probably at least one more week on that kind of a MCL sprain. And without him, I am vulnerable at my running back position. But we'll take a look. in the league that you commissioned that I'm in, I think I've vanquished my enemy. The If you guys didn't listen to the last show, had a little tiff with the guy at the beginning of the season. We're cool now. I'm all right with him now, no problems. But there's a couple of weeks that I wanted to slap him. But this week here, I got to demolish him and put him out of the playoff hunt. Now in your league, actually I'm gonna bring that up later. Yeah, I got to demolish him and put him out. Now he does have one guy going tonight. He has Josh Doxson going tonight, I believe. As long as Josh doesn't get 60 points, I'm good. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, I put Thanos up early on this one. I put Thanos up early on this one. I think I got this one down. So anyhow, we got a big game, big show tonight for you guys. The game is on this evening here in about an hour, so we're gonna get through it. We got your Week 14 preview. We're going to play the blame game, do some waivers, and then if we have enough time, if you haven't run too far over an hour, I have a couple of thoughts I just want to run past you and talk with you about here on the air. So we'll do that. All right?
Sounds good.
Excellent. Let's go ahead and jump into the Week 14 preview here. And the first game I want to talk about, maybe, I'm not sure if it's the biggest game, but definitely some of the biggest news here, is the Arizona-Green Bay game. This was a complete mess. Green Bay, think about this, lost at home. They lost in Green Bay while it was snowing from a team from Arizona. How does that happen? On whose birthday?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones' birthday. They lost from a team. Arizona is like the second hottest place on earth, and that's an exaggeration, but in the United States, it's pretty doggone hot. I know they had to go to Green Bay, see the snow, and be like, you know what, let's just forfeit. And they came, they came out and won the game, man. And right after the game, Coach McCarthy was fired. And there have been reports. There have been reports this year that Aaron Rodgers and McCarthy hadn't been seen eye to eye. Aaron Rodgers had been very upset with McCarthy about whatever it is. And I had a thought here, and I want to ask you about it. I remember a movie, I'm not sure if you've seen it before, called Blue Chips. And in the movie, I'm pretty sure it was Blue Chips. And in the movie, there was this college basketball player, all-star or all-pro, whatever you want to call him, all-star basketball player in college. But he was taking money to affect the score of the game, where he would play good enough to continue to be an all-star, to continue to be all-world kind of a guy. But every now and again, you would see him in the game kind of turn the ball over or take a bad shot or whatever, just so they can keep the lines in place and, whoever's paying him money can, whatever their goal was, can make money off of the score being whatever it was. I don't know. Do you feel like Aaron Rodgers is just playing good enough where you don't really question him, but poorly enough where they lose and Mike McCarthy is now out?
Yeah. I never thought about that.
I mean, because he has not been the same guy. Now, you're not questioning his greatness off of this season. You're not saying, he's, done or anything, but something's wrong.
Yeah, no, maybe. I just looked at it as, I took it as McCarthy just, it's kind of caught up to him as far as these years making play calls where, all right, we're going to run the ball or we're just going to call any pass play and just hope Aaron Rodgers' greatness makes something happen. And that kind of play calling just hasn't worked this season. And Aaron Rodgers has been taking the beating of it, especially with the rookies out there that aren't going in the necessary spots he wants them in. So for me, when I saw the news, I was, I hate for McCarthy. He doesn't have a job, but I was like, about time, it's time coming, in my opinion.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's I'm not sure if that's a very popular opinion. A guy, when he won a Super Bowl, he's been to the playoffs many years, but the idea simply is that you have Aaron Rodgers, one of the top 3 or 4, maybe top 2 quarterbacks ever to play the game. You should have won more than one Super Bowl. And, I think we spoke about this in the earlier episode where you have Aaron Rodgers and they put They don't put bad pieces around them, but they don't put a championship-winning team around them. That defense has never been, not typically a championship-level defense. It takes both sides of the ball typically to win, and they got a couple of playmakers on that side, but it's not been one where you say, hey, man, they went out and got this free agent, that free agent, and did this and did that, and they're really stacked. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if he deserves it or not, but certainly it's leaving a lot of questions here. We got Joe Philbin coming in. Didn't find a whole lot on him. He has coached. He has previous coaching experience. He was the offensive line coach in Indy. He coached the Dolphins to basically a 500 record for a couple of years, back 2012, I believe 2015. I didn't really get a chance to go back. The big question is, how does he affect the offense? How does what he wants, his philosophy, going to affect Green Bay going forward? And Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, okay? He's going to do what he's going to do. I'm not sure if he's going to play better or not going forward. But the big question for most people is what happens in the backfield? What happens between Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams? Because we've seen in this game, I'm not sure why, but there was a large chunk of time where Aaron Jones was not on the field. And Jamal Williams and I'm asking for a friend. What do you think happens going forward here? I'm really concerned. Because remember, we were talking about this. I said, I still feel like this is kind of, even though he's playing great, Aaron was playing great, I feel a little on edge about whether he's really got the backfield for the rest of the season or not.
Yeah, and I was doing the same thing as you. I was trying to find what I could on Joe Philbin, and I found the exact same information. So that I was trying to find a way to be a little more encouraged. Unfortunately, the way that the Packers' record is right now, being 4-7-1, having an interim coach, I think they might just go out there and say, "Hey, let's figure out exactly what we have in that backfield." Yeah. And as an Aaron Jones owner, that's not anything you want to see on the field. But
I mean, Aaron Jones is the most talented back. It's not a question.
Definitely. By far. What just with them going where they are, and what do you have to lose? At this point, and as you brought up multiple times, if they're going to keep playing Aaron Rodgers, if Jamal Williams is the better passing running back, we're not playing for anything. Let's not go out there and risk Rodgers getting hurt if Aaron Jones isn't going to block. And I mean,
you can also say Phil's going to want to not Phil. Philbin is going to want to win some games to perhaps come to stay as head coach. I don't think that's going to happen for him, but stay as head coach of the team. I think he may put his best players out there still. Let a few games go by at the very least. I just don't know what happened there. And Jamal may be the better pass blocking back or whatever, but he is nowhere near as dynamic as Aaron Jones. We've had this conversation before, so I'm not going to dive back into it. But I just don't know the philosophy of those guys. So it's going to be up in the air coming forward. I figured maybe you might have a little more insight than I did, but I don't know. I'm a little uneasy about it.
Yeah, no, I definitely am. So the whole Packers offense, just not, and it's based because we don't really know Joe Philbin, and it's going to be because going in after this game before McCarthy got fired, it was Randall Cobb being back was exciting for MVS owners because now you have you got Cobb solidified at that slot role.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a toss up to see, and it's not the time you want to. For fantasy owners being in the playoffs, it's not one of those times where you want to be
wondering what's going to happen exactly.
Going on.
Yeah. Let's talk about Arizona real quick. Not a whole lot to say. I would say Chase Edmonds. Oh God. Oh jeez. I was watching this, man. And I was like, what is? I know. David Johnson owners right now are just like throwing something at the TV. Like there's going to be like some kind of a uptick in TV sales. There's a bunch of broken ones out there today because how does this happen? How did you get down to like the 5-yard line and throw Chase Edmonds in there every single time? What is going on there? I don't know. Maybe you have some insight there, but the main thing I took away is Christian Kirk that went on IR today.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Who steps up? Who's the guy to get here outside of Larry Fitzgerald, obviously?
Well, if I don't really know any other receivers on that core. To be honest,
Yeah.
I didn't look.
You can't hardly name them.
Right, yeah. Going into the season this year, though, Chad Williams was receiving a
Yeah.
lot of talk, but
Yeah.
I think he's still suffering from a foot injury
Yeah, he wasn't in the
right
game.
now.
0 targets, so he wasn't
Right,
there.
and looking at the box score, we've got Trent Sherfield. I don't know if that's a receiver or tight end or what have you, but that's the only name that I see. I haven't dove too deep into the Cardinals. I don't think I really want any receivers on the Cardinals other than Fitzgerald anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a blow. It's a blow because Christian Kirk was looking great. He
Yeah,
was
it's
looking
coming on a little bit.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's
All
a
right.
blow. I did see this though. The offensive coordinator said that the thing they want moving forward is to have Chase Edmonds and David Johnson on the field together a lot more than they have been.
All right.
Now, I don't know if that's going to be a split in carries as much as it is a split in time. I think David Johnson will still see the bulk of the carries, but just having them on the field together is something that's kind of like, I don't want to hear that, as the Johnson owner.
Yep. All right, let's go ahead and move on for the sake of time. We spend a lot of time on that game. Let's go ahead and talk about the Patriots and the Vikings. And last week when we were on the show, I asked the question, do the Vikings belong among the elite? Are they in the upper echelon in the NFL? And this game told me a resounding no. Cousins looked like he looked like garbage. 200 passing yards, 2 interceptions, and this is with Cook playing well. Cook played really good. So you figured, okay, if you don't, you figure, okay, maybe the lack of a running game has been hurting them some. Maybe the defense. No, the defense, in my opinion, Tom Brady did have 300 yards passing. Don't get me wrong, but 1 touchdown, 1 interception. They kept the run game kind of under control. I mean, I place this squarely on Cousins' shoulders, man. What do you think about him going forward?
I agree, and it might be because I'm an Eagles fan and I didn't like him in the Redskins, and I just stood on. He was playing well though. I can't even put that past. I can't say he wasn't. He was playing well, but this game especially, in the first half, they were hanging right in there with the Patriots. They were looking like a team that was going to come out here and beat those guys. But to your point, as Kirk Cousins with that offense, with those dynamic players, you've got to put when your defense is holding the Patriots to, I believe they had 10 points at halftime, you've got to put up points on offense. You can't go into halftime with 7 when your defense is playing the way they are. And the Patriots defense isn't one of those defenses you go into the game and say, well, they're dangerous. It's nothing like that. So, they're and so you've got to find. And then, once again, to your point, Dalvin Cook's playing well, and you can't play that poorly on offense.
Right.
And I don't know if it was the offensive line, if there's just a great mind of Belichick or what have you, but you've got to produce more.
Absolutely. I don't have a whole lot more on this game. We've talked about both of these teams at length throughout the season. I would say that as we've already spoken about like I said before, Tom Brady's just not having a Tom Brady-like season. However, they're finding ways to win. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. The running game didn't do a whole lot here, but I think people seen Rex Burkhead on the field probably more than they would want as either a James White owner or a Sonny Michel owner. He didn't have that big of a game, but do you see this continue to be a 3-man deal going forward?
Yeah, I actually do, and that's something that is I wanted to bring up and ask you just because I was looking at it, and to your point, you didn't see Burkhead necessarily be super efficient as far as for a fantasy owner, but the fact that he was on the field as a Michelle owner or what have you. So I was going to ask you more trustworthy, not necessarily who would you rather have or who do you think is going to do better, but more trustworthy moving forward rest of the season. Would you want Michelle or Burkhead? Because we did see Burkhead used more in the pass game than we saw Michelle,
Oh
even
well,
though Michelle had more carries.
yeah, Michelle, no doubt. I think Michelle has he's solidified himself as the lead dog there. I think the bigger question probably would come down to Rex Burkhead or James White. They have the affinity to use Rex Burkhead in the run game more than they use James White. So can that be? And they also use Burkhead in the pass game. Now I think James White again has solidified himself as the passing down, but Burkhead is that kind of in between Swiss Army knife kind of a guy that can also throw him out there in a slot. I don't know. I don't feel a whole lot of threat to Sony or James White from Burkhead. It's just going to eat into their numbers a little bit. It's just going to
Right.
take away a few of those carries per game, where
Yeah.
Michelle may be closer to 15 a game instead of 20 a game. So, and Burkhead wasn't all that efficient in this game either. So, and I think I said it just a second ago. I'm not sure how to feel about him in your lineup going forward. I believe this
Right.
week you told me I asked you Jaquez Rogers or Burkhead. You said Burkhead. I didn't listen because I figured that the Carolina defense we'll talk about here in a minute was a little more stout and perhaps running room wouldn't be all that good, and they may go throw the ball to Chris Rogers on the edges a little bit more. He got 0 points. That was a big goose egg for him. But he was in the game. I watched. They put him in the game. He just didn't throw him the ball.
Yeah.
My point is with Burkhead, you just can't feel comfortable putting him out there as an RB2 or even a flex. So you have to be kind of an emergency guy for you.
Definitely. No, I'm with you there.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on if you don't have anything else about that one. And talk about the Texans and Cleveland. And Texans look really good. They kind of handled business like I thought they would. And for 3 quarters, Baker Mayfield looked like Nate Peterman. I mean, he was horrible, man. I mean, I was looking at he had negative points for about 2 quarters. I said, what is going on? I mean, he hasn't been, on fire or anything throughout the season, but he's been a solid 17, 18 points a week, and I think he still ended up with that, which is a testament to him because he, had 3 interceptions that game. But how far can these Texans go, man? What do you think about this team?
Yeah, these they're looking, like you said, they're looking really good, and I think they can go as far as their team. I can't even just put it on offense or defense. They're both playing well on both sides of the ball. They proved that they can not only get a lead but keep their foot on the gas. They proved that they can keep fighting to stay in games. I mean, I think they can be real as long as they stay healthy. I think they can be really good. One stat that I saw today that was super, and I guess I've just been not paying attention, but Lamar Miller is the sixth leading rusher.
Yeah.
Only behind, he's only behind Gurley, Zeke, Saquon, Lindsey, and James Conner. So he's above your Kamaras, your McCaffreys, and what have you.
Yeah, he's one of the surprises of the season. Actually, I was going to say he was one of my 2 takeaways from this game, and I got this written down. Lamar Miller is legit. As long as Deshaun Watson is the quarterback, he is a number RB1. You got to put him out there as that.
Yeah. We actually saw that last year when Deshaun Watson was in the game, so it should have made sense that it would carry over. He's 19 carries this game. I think he's averaging around 18, 20, if not more than 20 carries, especially in the most recent game. So, I think the Texans can still be great and still continue to do very well.
Yeah. I like this team as well. I think they're, if not mistaken now, 9-3. And that's kind of a quiet 9-3. You don't think about them as one of the elite teams in the NFL right now, but they really are. My other takeaway from this game was I will not be able to call Jarvis Landry for the rest of the season. Well, I don't know what to do with him because I finally sat him. I'm like, okay, after 3 weeks of getting Jack, I put him on the bench, and now he has 100 yards. And it was an extremely negative game script. Extremely negative. So is it going to take an extremely negative game script for Jarvis Landry to now be fantasy relevant?
That's, it's so funny that you say that because I actually wrote down targets back for Landry losing formula? Because it just seems like when he gets a bunch of targets, the Browns lose.
Right.
And so I'm right there with you. I sat him as well. Started Traquan Smith over him, who gave me 0 points.
Sorry.
Yeah, and yeah. So yeah, I don't know how to call Landry either. He might be a rest of season segment for if I sit him, you start.
Right.
He'll just be implanted right there every time we do that segment. Yeah, he's a tough one.
Yeah. I had one more takeaway. Actually, I mentioned I said 2.5, 3. Chubb was the only ball carrier in this game. And again, it was an extremely negative game script, so they put a lot of put the ball in the air a whole lot. But even still, he was the only person to get a carry in this game. That's super rare, where only one person. I mean, even a situation like Dallas for Ezekiel Elliott, Rod Smith gets in there every now and again for a carry or two. I mean, for him to be the only one carrying the ball says a lot. He didn't have that awesome of a game. He got in a touchdown, which kind of saved his week. He was my sit of the week last week, and he got very close to. I mean, from 9 carries, 31 yards. He had 3 receptions for 41 yards and a touchdown. That gave you 16 points-ish, right around there, which is not bad. You can live at 16 points. I mean, but not a good game. Anyhow,
not the way you want to get it.
Right. Yeah, not very good game. But anyhow, yeah, he was the only one to carry the ball there. So what I'm really getting at here is, what do you make of Duke Johnson? I finally got his name. Duke Johnson. Is he even a flex at this point?
I actually dropped him on one of my teams a couple weeks ago, and it's because for me, the league that I had him in is not a PPR league. So that was the reason I dropped him. But moving forward, speaking strictly PPR, it's hard. He's hard to trust. He came in, I was kind of excited for him when Hugh Jackson got fired and the offensive coordinator got fired, because those first 2 games he was there. It was like, okay, we're getting this Duke Johnson back in the receiving game and everything. And he was getting, like you said, he was getting 3 carries. He was at least being used. But this game, 2 carries on 3 targets, or 2 catches on 3 targets, like you said, no carries. He might be a guy that you can fade because, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. Baker threw it to 10 different guys. And if you're and the only reason you would have Duke is for volume. But if Baker's throwing it to 10 different guys, he's getting 400 yards and throwing it and spreading it like that, it's hard to trust. It's hard to trust Duke.
Yeah. Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Carolina and the Bucks. This is one of the surprises of the weekend. I really thought Carolina was going to do this, fighting for a playoff spot here. They didn't do it, and it's safe to say this. Cam Newton will not end up third in the MVP race like I thought he was going to be. But he's still having a good season. Completion rate's up. Efficiency is up. And I give that all to kind of the Norv Turner. But Norv can't stop him from throwing the ball into coverage. What do you take away from the Carolina offense? Because outside of McCaffrey, it's very, very, very hard to call. Who do you want outside of McCaffrey?
If I have to take somebody, I would take DJ Moore out of McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the obvious take, but I mean, at this point, it's just you got to go with Cam Newton. I don't know what's up with him as of late. I went back and I saw he's thrown an interception in all of his last 4 games. His last 4 games, he's had 9 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, which is, I mean, it's just terrible. Like, you know, what's going on in his head, I don't know. And like you said, if any team, the Bucks defense was the time.
Yeah, that's like, okay, exactly. Yeah, you're thinking 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
On track. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's not 3 instead of 4 interceptions. You know, and I, like you said, it is hard to call though because Curtis Samuel came out and had 11 targets and had a pretty good game. He's a fast guy, which I heard he was fast, and I got to see him. He's a very quick guy, but you don't know who to depend on. Other, like you said, other than CMC, it's just like by matchup. If I got him on my team, maybe
season, man. He's going for the MVP. I mean, golly,
he's balling.
And you could have got him in the second round, maybe even a third round of some doggone drafts, man. You mentioned something here, and before I jump on that, who's the main beneficiary now that you see Greg Olson's going out with his foot injury? Are we going to see more of Curtis Samuel having these kinds of targets, or is it going to go to more DJ Moore, or are we going to see Funless get in there a little bit?
Yeah.
If someone put a gun to your head and say, okay, you can't have DJ Moore, between Samuel, Funless, and Wright or whoever, who would you pick if you had to go one game? Who do you want?
If I had to pick somebody, it would be Funless. I think he takes the tight end role just because of his size and athleticism. Mm-hmm. They don't have another big target after Greg Olson, and so I think that's what that Funches just fills that void, fills that role throughout the field and in the end zone.
Okay. And you mentioned something about Cam with 9 touchdowns to 7 interceptions here over the last few games. And something really stuck out to me about this game when I was watching it. Perhaps Cam and Jameis Winston have switched places. No, they won't switch places. This is what I noticed, though. Perhaps Cam has, again, his efficiency is up. His passing touchdowns are up. Completion percentage is up. Maybe he's starting to think he's Tom Brady. Maybe he thinks he can fit these things in now. Well, it used to be more of him being athletic and the guy would be wide open, maybe making some, kind of like Mahomes does. I'll run around the backfield till someone kind of gets open, wide open pass, boom. No, now I think I'm really a quarterback. No, he's wrong. He's really a quarterback.
Right.
I'm not playing. I'm playing with him a little bit here. But now he thinks he's really that good. He can fit these things in the tight windows, and that's not really, what he's been used to doing. He's throwing a few interceptions here because he's having a better year. But on the other side of the ball, Jameis Winston, I think for him, finally we've seen a step up in maturity. I think that benching really did him some good. And he's dialed it back a little bit. He's not being that gunslinger, kind of like we're seeing Cam doing right now. Hey, I'm just throwing it anywhere in the coverage because I think I can fit it in there. Winston is really playing a mature and logical game, not putting up 300 yards a game, every game, but just making sure, hey, I don't make the mistakes to put my team in a bad situation. I think he had 249, 2 touchdowns. What did you see that same kind of thing out of Winston, or do you just think it's something different?
No, I'm definitely with you. I got to see out of Winston, we saw a lot more check downs, a lot more. All right, instead of me forcing this, I'll run. I'll run for a couple yards.
Yes,
5 carries for 48
Absolutely.
yards. So he's just a lot smarter out there, and is not, either big play or I'm gonna force it regardless. We're seeing better decisions,
right,
which might be unfortunate for the fantasy owners that were loving. I don't care if he gets 3 interceptions, if he's getting me 400 yards and this and that. But as far as a player and somebody that with this play will give you a safer floor, a higher floor. It'll give you a safer floor if he's playing.
Yeah, because he'll likely not get benched in the middle of the game, so he'll get the whole thing out.
Right.
Yeah. He looked really good, and I'm happy, and I hope it continues for him. Obviously, we want a little bit more production than 249 and a couple of scores, but it's kind of offset a little bit by him not throwing 3 picks a game. I like that. Adam Humphries. I told you to listen to me. I told you to listen to me. My man he's no longer hey guy, you should get him off of the waivers type of dude. No. He should be in your lineup. Here's since week 4. 9 points, 11 points, 7 points, and you're probably like, no big deal. 14, 28, 7, 15, 17, 19. These are the games he's giving you. He is a starter at this point with Jameis Winston. If you listen to the show, keep coming back and listen to us. I told you when Jameis got in there, this guy was going to be a valuable person to have on your team. I didn't think he was going to be this good. How are you loving you some Adam Humphries right now, man?
Fantastic, yeah. And after I didn't know he had everything that you said. I knew he had been playing well, but I didn't know he had all those points.
Yeah.
He also led the team this week in targets. Yeah, Adam, I like it. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Adam a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
well, yeah, I was looking at Chris Godwin
Godwin. Yeah, I was
had
going to
a
mention him.
pretty okay
Absolutely.
game. Um, and I was wondering, because I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, 101, a touchdown, there we go. But I remember Mike Evans was down for a little bit. Now, I didn't get to watch the game. I don't know how many plays he missed, how much time he missed.
Not
And
much.
I'm wondering, okay, because I was wondering if that's where Chris Godwin got his plays when Evans was out. But if that's not the case,
No,
then
I think Evans missed a total of about 2 plays on this one, so he didn't miss a whole lot of time. No, just kind of those times where Jameis doesn't focus on one person, maybe with the exception of
right.
Cameron Brayton and Adam Humphries at this point in time, but he doesn't really focus on one person. He kind of spread the ball around, and this is just one of those games where it's Godwin's game. It'll go back to Evans next week probably, so we'll see how that goes as far as down the field. He really got the ball down the field to Godwin. This just in, I can't not say this. We weren't going to talk about these guys tonight, but breaking news: AJ Green expected to go season-ending surgery on his toe.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
yeah, that hurts. That hurts a lot actually, because I have him in the Thanos league. He's he's one of my staples, man. He's one of my center blocks. One of the guys that keep me down. One of the people I was expecting to help take me to the championship. So hopefully Tyler Boyd can step up. Luckily, I also have him in that same league, and maybe he can give us some decent weeks. All right, let's go ahead and roll to.
Well, I know
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know we were going to talk about. I know we were going to talk about, but since this did happen, it's pretty big news. Tyler Boyd has been, even with AJ Green out,
Okay.
Driscoll has been.
Yeah.
He's been getting Boyd the ball. So I
Yeah.
mean, I think you could feel confident with Boyd out there. I really do.
Yeah, he won't give you some of those AJ Green weeks, but is he a
Right.
decent replacement, kind of like Spencer Ware the Hunt at this point in time? Yeah, sure. Yeah, he's definitely going to start in lineup. Yeah, yeah. Boyd's been looking good without AJ. He's stepped it up a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this last game here. I don't have a whole lot on it. The Jags and the Colts. And this looked like an old-timey SEC college game, 6-0. That you heard that right. The Colts did not score a touchdown, and this is another one of those guys like Jameis. Not Jameis. Sorry, like Landry. One of those situations. I do not know what to do with the Jags defense. I'm asking, please help me. It's almost one of those situations where I sit them, you start them. Every time I sit them, I'm like, okay, I'm done with these guys. They have a really decent game. 17 fantasy points against Indy. 0 the week before. 0 points against Buffalo. The week before that, they played Pittsburgh. You're thinking high-powered offense. Okay, this is going to be a day to sit them. 9 points. They didn't kill it, but that is a decent day against a high-powered offense. The week before that, 1 point against Indy. I do not know. It's like every other week you could play them. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that game really surprised me. And even though Jalen Ramsey, they said he was gonna play, but they were like, don't know how much he'll play. He's still gonna be. He looked normal to me. I saw one play after he got up and was limping a little bit. Other than that, I don't know if the defense rallied behind him or what the situation. It's a division game, whatever, what have you. But yeah, they played. They got to Andrew Luck 3 times. He hasn't been sacked that much this year. 3 sacks this game. Yeah, they played. They played well.
Great game.
The defense played like a perfect game to where the offense only had to score 6 points.
Exactly. Anytime you can win a game 6-0, your defense is lights out. Takeaway, I don't want to talk about Jacksonville too much. There's nothing to talk about there. But I do want to take this away. While Fournette was out, Hyde did get the bulk of the carries, and Yeldon didn't. He wasn't even that involved in the passing game. How do you feel about Yeldon going forward, especially when that Leonard Fournette comes back next week?
You know, I feel about him about as much as I feel about the receiving core. I think if you're the Fournette owner, you're probably the only person that's got Yeldon, and that's just because in a PPR, Yeldon had the most targets in the game and most receptions, so that's their leading receiver.
Yeah.
What it seems like. But that's another thing that you can't really guess because one game Westbrook will go off or Moncrief will go off, so you never know. But I'm only holding on to Yeldon if I have Fournette.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this real quickly. I think you've already touched on it. The Colts, the horrible game all around. Obviously, he had 0 points. Nothing a whole lot to talk about here. Just two things to take away here. The first game since week 4 where Luck hasn't had multiple touchdowns. Obviously, he had 0 touchdowns. But still, Eric Ebron with 10 receptions. Blowout game. I mean, he is locked and loaded. We were talking about him possibly missing the game. I told you last week, no way is he going to miss his chance to shine. I don't care if he has to, Novocaine it up. I'm the man. I'm the tight end here. We lost the other tight end, and obviously Andrew loves his tight ends. I'm just going to soak up all these targets, and he's playing for his next contract because he is getting up in age. This last one has to be the one that gets him to retirement, for the rest of his life, whatever. He's playing like a madman. I don't know if there's anything else to say about that, but I'm loving me some Ebron the rest of the season, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Love Ebron. 16 targets, like you cannot enjoy that, especially where the tight ends are now. You gotta love it. Nyheim Hines, 9 targets in this game for the Marlon Mack owners. That's not not happy about that. And it could have just been just a really quick say, it could have just been game script. The Jaguars do have a very good D line, so maybe they just got away from running it. And Marlon Mack was in concussion protocol this week, so that could have just been that situation. But that did happen as far as the Nyheim Hines situation.
Yeah, he's been actually looking pretty decent the last couple of weeks, so he's been coming on. He was one of the guys I was thinking about for the waiver segment, but he really shouldn't be on waivers. The real question starts to come down to is can you flex him on a weekly basis? I think from the last couple of games, the answer is yes, he should be flex consideration going forward.
Definitely, yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and jump to the next segment here. We're running about 45 minutes, so we're doing pretty good. And do the blame game. I got a few people here that's just not doing well, or they are doing well, in what is and who is the blame here. I personally want to start off the waivers, so I'm going to let you start the blame game.
Okay. Yeah. So my first blame. I'm kind of upset. The Bears defense only got 5 points for me this week against the Giants.
Dude, I don't want to hear that. Be in my world with the Jaguars not knowing what to do and them getting you like -2 points every other week. I mean, the Bears only got me 5. They got you like 15 the week before. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, well, I would like to. When I see the Giants on the other side,
yeah.
I'm thinking, look, And so, but I blame Odell.
Oh yeah,
Let Eli throw the ball.
Please,
don't throw the ball. Why are you doing that? Just check. Let Eli throw the ball.
No trick plays against the Bears, please.
Right. Let Eli throw it to somebody on the Bears defense so I can get my pick six and get my point.
Oh man, that's so funny. I remember it was a couple of years back, and this is probably just at the start of the so to speak decline of Eli Manning, and I was working late one night. And there was somebody was a Giants fan, and I was leaving. I said, listen, before I get home, I know it's the first quarter. I'm getting ready to look at my phone. Over under 2 interceptions for Eli Manning in the first quarter. Yeah, when you play him, you're going to get you a good one. And he ruined your day with that whatever flea flicker or whatever it was called, their trick play. Absolutely. All right, I like that one. New Orleans, they lost to the Dallas Cowboys. That was not supposed to happen. I had them personally. I had them winning by a couple of scores. Again, we spoke about this stuff. We spoke about this last show, and I kind of said it didn't feel like one of those games where they were going to get, Dallas was going to get blown out. But no, no one had them losing this game to Dallas. I blame Amari Cooper. Not that he had that stellar of a game. He has simply infused life into this Dallas team.
Yeah.
Since he's been there, they have hope. They think they can win and run with the big boys. We got a receiver now that can catch and run and get yards and stuff. And even though he doesn't have that, he had an okay game, but he didn't have that big of a game. This team responded to it, and man, you got to give hats off to Dallas. No one's seen that coming. If you put money on Dallas, you won a little jackpot there, man. Absolutely.
Definitely. No, you definitely did. Yeah, Amari Cooper just his presence has I don't know. It's like the team has come together because you had everybody talking about, man, they gave up a first-round pick. That's way too much. Amari Cooper has not been doing this.
Right.
So Cooper's got something to prove. The owners are like, or the owner, Jerry Jones, is like, I'm going to prove why the first-round pick was.
Right.
It's a story, and, he's definitely got them boys playing.
Absolutely.
So my second one, LaShawn McCoy's rush yards capped the rest of the season.
Okay.
And I blame that on Josh Allen.
Because he's the real running back there.
What do you do? Stop with the spins and the jukes. I need Josh Allen, Odell, and Eli. I need them all in a room. I'm going to say, look, Eli, you throw, Josh, you throw.
Right.
Odell catches, McCoy runs.
This is how it works. Everybody wants these dual designations nowadays. You cannot be a quarterback and a running back, sir.
Right.
Pick one.
I'm sorry.
He looks good, man. He's not your traditional, but just, what do you have, like 9 for 77, something like that?
Yeah, I was actually about to pull it up real quick. I feel bad that I actually didn't have it up when I was doing this segment. Yes, he had 9 for 135.
That must have been a blimp across the screen when I seen 77. Oh my gosh, 135? Yeah. I remember. I seen him have over 30 points, fantasy points this week. I would be.
What happened?
What's that?
When Lamar Jackson went out for his game, they took him to Buffalo real quick. Said, hey, look, run this play. We'll bring you back to Atlanta. We'll say it's concussion protocol.
Put this jersey on, make it look. I think now you can legitimately say Josh Allen, once probably a guy you would stream your defense against, now is a guy you can stream from week to week against other defenses. Especially ones that struggle against running quarterbacks. So, I like what I'm seeing out of him. You gotta really love what you're seeing there. My second one is Jared Cook, 2 touchdowns in the last couple of weeks here, and I simply blame it on a combination of Amari Cooper leaving and there being no other option. Jared Cook is now once again top 5 tight end consideration the rest of the season, in my opinion.
Absolutely, and I hated it because of the fact that the guy I was playing had Jared Cook, and I was like, can he just not do that much?
Right. So now you want everybody to play their position. You want, Odell to catch. You want Josh Allen to throw, but you're blaming Jared Cook for catching. That's his job.
Catch the ball and go down. Leave the running stuff to other people. Just catch it and
he's looking good, man. He's looking good. Who knew he would probably lead? I think I haven't looked at the stats, but I'm assuming he's probably leading them in receiving.
Yeah, he's got to be.
Yeah.
I doubt it's even close.
Yeah,
he's got to be.
Absolutely.
My last one, Tariq Cohen killed me.
Oh, yeah.
And I blame the Giants linebackers. And it's just because, that was really cool, Alex Ogletree. You had 2 picks that were they were really good picks. I give you that. But there's a guy in the backfield that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I would like for that running back to not have 12 catches. for 156 yards.
Well, the little cherry on top was the touchdown pass. So now nobody's playing their position now, right?
Right. All these people that are on my blame game decided, hey, so I got something for you.
I got extra skills.
A little more. Yeah, I got something else for you. Come on, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. He was. Oh man, he just wouldn't stop. I actually played him as well. As a matter of fact, I played him in that league where I have Thanos. So I call myself Thanos or whatever. So it didn't do the other guy any good. But I was for a second there. I was just like you. Hey, stop scoring. And he threw that touchdown. Like, what is going on? But no,
Right.
no, yeah, he has absolutely murdered it this past week, and he's one of those guys that's kind of hard to call as well. He just has to kind of live with the ups and downs. He may have some weeks where he's not doing so well, but certainly this past one was a monster game for him. My last guy is Austin Eckler. Had a horrific game last game. If you were one of the people who picked him up off of waivers, or if you had him as a backup to Melvin Gordon, you had no choice but to be disappointed with what you've seen. I believe he had a total of maybe 21 rushing yards on 13 carries. And I blame Melvin Gordon and his weak MCL. I blame him for exposing Eckler as a guy who was just not an every down back. We kind of knew this, but we thought he could possibly come in and be, okay, and be serviceable. This was not a serviceable game. He has been exposed, especially when Justin Jackson comes in, who was the third stringer, comes in and gets 63 yards on a touchdown on 8 carries.
Austin Eckler fantastic doing it.
Yeah. He is an off-pace back. He's the guy that comes in and changes it up. Once the defense has been worn down by Melvin, boom, now, Eckler can come in with his quickness and do something. So, yeah, I blame Melvin on that.
Yeah, and Justin Jackson looks really good. So for the guys that have that got him in Dynasty or whatever. Now, you might not see too much of him because Melvin Gordon is a beast, so he will be back. But,
no, it just kind of upsets me. I have Melvin Gordon. I had Justin Jackson on my team for weeks, and I don't know what was going on. I needed some space for something. And I said, okay, well, Justin is the third stringer. Melvin's looking great. Eckler's looking pretty good. He's not going to get in the game. Oh, I wish I had him. No. Yeah, man, I dropped him. Couldn't get him back. Anyway, do you have anything else for Blame Game?
No, nope. Ready to see if you're going to snipe my waiver.
Oh, man, I'm definitely sniping you. So I know that's why I had to go first. But I want to talk about this a little bit, so that's why I wanted to go first on it. My first guy is Jeff Wilson Jr., the running back for San Francisco. 19 fantasy points, and he looks like the lead back there. But not only that, this is what I have written down. This is before the news just came out about 10 minutes ago that Coach Shanahan said Breida will not play this week. He's not playing this upcoming week. He out-snapped Breida 15-5 as it is in the game.
Yeah.
Alfred Morris, I believe he was a healthy scratch. What do we think about? Where did this guy come from? He was like from North Texas or something. Off a practice squad? I don't know. It's a
49ers fan.
I am. This is my account. I have no clue where this dude came from. I know he's from North Texas. I think he was on the practice squad, but he's good.
Really good.
Yeah. If you can scoop, I just on a whim because I'm in my league where I lost Melvin Gordon. I'm so hard up for running back help. I've picked up a bunch of running backs off of waivers. I mean, off of the waiver wire. I have him. I had Burkhead come back. I picked up Chris Rogers. I just want to see for the playoffs who's panning out. And I didn't put him in the game because I didn't know enough about him to put him in the game. But I knew he was backing up Breida. He had a couple good runs the game before. And I just happened to pick him up before this week. And thank goodness because there's no way I would have got him this week coming after this game.
Yeah.
And after this news, what do you think about him going forward? What can he be?
I think he can be great. Let's see. I don't know the 49ers schedule going forward, but even in this game against the Seahawks defense, I mean,
Decent defense.
it's a prolific rushing defense, yeah. And he looks fantastic. See, they've got the Broncos, Seahawks again, Bears, and
I
Ravens.
mean, get this.
Okay,
He
well,
can catch the ball. He had 9 targets.
Yeah. No, yeah. I was just looking at the skills. No, it's a tough one, but he's going to be used all over the place. Like you just say, yeah, he's in the pass game. He's running it. And we've seen the running backs for the 49ers all season do well.
Right.
And they're going to continue to do well. So, yeah, I think he's a solid flex, low-end running back, too. Moving forward, if you're making tough decisions, he's definitely a guy that you have to think about.
Good deal. All right, I'll go ahead since it doesn't sound like I sniped you, which is a good thing. Who do you got?
Yeah, my guy I was a little more excited about this before I found out about the James Conner injury is not that bad. Before we knew how serious it was, I was excited. But Jalen Samuels, you saw when James Conner went out, that's the next guy up, got into the end zone, ended up having a pretty good game. If anybody, for whatever reason, played him. I have him everywhere on my dynasty teams just because earlier in the year they were talking about that he could fight for the spot over James Conner. Yeah. But now that James Conner's injury doesn't seem too bad, it might not be such a huge thing to have to try to drop anybody that is doing something for you to go get. But it's just a name to know.
Yeah. And I was actually going to bring him up. He wasn't in my waiver segment here, but I wanted to ask you, you would be more comfortable with him than Ridley, because Ridley looks good when he gets in, but is Samuel the clear number one backup to Connor at this point, right?
Yeah, that's one. That's something I wanted to want to look at too before I put Samuel in, and I think he is. I think we saw that it was just purely Samuels. And I don't know if Ridley had any injuries that he was fighting through. I think he was healthy, and that Samuels was just the guy that they decided to go with. And if that's the case, then I think Samuels is the next guy up there.
Absolutely, good. My number 2 guy, and he should not be on waivers, but if he is, and I haven't checked his percentage on Yahoo or anything like that, but Bruce Ellington, I've been talking about him for about 3 weeks before the Marvin Jones Jr. injury. Again, I will pat myself on the back when you should come and listen to us, because I was telling you, pick this guy up. 10 targets last game, not a whole lot of yards, like 35 yards, but 10 targets. I think 8 receptions, something like that. I mean, if he continues to have those kind of targets, the yards will come. I would definitely be targeting him if you can on your waiver wire. Put him on your team.
Definitely, absolutely, and you got me to hop on the train because for this past week, Kenny Golladay was my sit of the week, and I told guys I was more excited for Bruce Ellington than I was Kenny, and it came to fruition. And you got me on that track, and I'm right there with you. My second guy is no longer my second guy. I'm not even going to mention him. It was Damian Williams for the Chiefs.
Okay.
Because we saw him in they signed Sharkhandrick West and all that good stuff. So I don't even want to mess with that.
Yeah.
My guy though, which I'm surprised, I wasn't going to mention because I didn't think he's on waivers, but he's only 2.2% owned in ESPN leagues, and that's Dante Pettis.
Oh, snipe! You got me. I should have said Pettis first. I should have switched it around.
He was the first guy that came to my eye because I actually picked him up this last week.
Me too.
But I just assumed that people had him. But no, if you need a receiver, if you were unfortunate had Kirk, or even if you didn't have Kirk, if you just have a receiver, if you had an AJ Green or something like that, you need a guy. Dante Pettis is a locked in wide receiver 2 moving forward. I honestly believe that. Even with his schedule, I think he is a beast, and I think he would do fantastic.
5 receptions, 129, and 2 touchdowns. And I wrote it down here with Goodwin and Garcon continuously battling injuries through the year. He could be huge down the stretch here. I like him a lot. Going forward. Yeah, he was definitely on my list as well. But I figured you would snipe me somewhere, so I put an extra guy in my segment here.
Okay.
And that is Antonio Callaway. for the Browns. Since week 10, he's looked like the lead receiver there. Not Jarvis Landry. Since week 10, he's the lead receiver. Last week, I'm sorry, this week, if you want to call week 13, um, he came down with 3 receptions for 84 yards. Not huge, but that's still 11 PPR points. The week before, he had a touchdown. They were on bye week 11, but in week 10, let me go ahead and pull this up real quickly. He had, here we go. Not a huge game, but it was 2 receptions for 39 yards, and that led the team in yards. So he's coming on, once forgotten about, maybe as overblown or whatnot. He may be coming. With this new regime, with this new coaching staff, he may be a guy you need to keep your eye on.
Yeah, I like that because they are showing what we saw. If you watch preseason or if you even tuned in to Hard Knocks, you got to see a lot of Mayfield to Callaway. That was Mayfield's guy. Callaway was his guy, and then he was playing well, kind of fell off. And they talked about he's got the talent, he's got the speed. It's just sometimes it doesn't click. So yeah, if it can click, you've got somebody great right there. Definitely.
Absolutely. Do you have anybody else for waivers, man?
Nah, I did not. I did want to say this, though. I wanted to bring up back about Russell Wilson. 11 for 17 and 4 touchdowns. I remember you were talking how long can he throw for?
All season, apparently.
Oh, man, that's great.
Well, you had to figure, though, he was playing the 49ers, going to have a pretty good game. But, yeah, you don't see those kind of stat lines very often. And, yeah, he had a good game against the Niners and didn't have to pass the ball a lot. Well, I had some extra thoughts, but we actually hit on a couple of them. One of those thoughts was James Conner, what's going to happen there in that situation. The other thought was Boyd for the rest of the season, which thought about him because we really didn't talk about those two teams in our preview segment. However, there is something else that I want to bring up because we didn't. Did we hit on the Monday night? Yeah, we already hit on the Eagles. Did we hit on the Eagles and the Redskins coming up? I don't think we did.
Yes.
We did.
No. Not tonight we did it.
Okay. No, because that's happening tonight, idiot. The Thursday night game against Jags and Titans.
Yeah, we did not do that.
Yeah. The question, there's nothing much to talk about. The question is, can you play the Jags against the Titans? You should be able to. Leonard Fournette will be back, so you'll roll him out there. Titans have an okay defense, but you still got to roll Fournette. Corey Davis didn't do a whole lot last game. He was my start of the week, and I don't think he had that good of a game against the Jets. Let me just check it out real quickly here. No, 3 receptions. He had a touchdown. Okay, he had an okay week. So 42 yards, 3 receptions, and a touchdown. So that'll give you 13 or 14 points. Got anything for that game outside of Leonard Fournette coming back? And the Jags are gonna snake me because I'm gonna put them in. They're gonna get 0 points. But so matter of fact, my start of the week. I'm putting it down right now. Marcus Mariota against the Jags. It's happening. Roll them out there. It's going to be a great game.
Hey, if that comes to fruition, Joe get Taywan Taylor because if Marcus Mariota can figure out how to not overthrow that speedster, I mean he overthrew him I think once, and the other time they were able to connect. But if that is true, Taywan Taylor's going to have a good game. But since Ali said it, the Jaguars will go off for their fantasy. They'll have 30 fantasy points.
No, I'm starting them. I'm starting them. So you sit on them. Trust me, it's not happening. Anyhow, I did want to talk about 2 more things here, and then we'll get out of here. We're actually running pretty decent on time, an hour 6 minutes, but we'll get out of here. Tracandrick West, you were talking about the situation there in Kansas City. Ware didn't have that great of a game. What do you think? Is this going to turn into a committee? Are you still seeing Ware as the lead dog? I mean, I think he'll get the majority of carries, but will it be to where he's not going to be fantasy viable going forward with West coming back and with Williams?
I'm more excited. I was actually kind of thinking that train of thought as well, and I went into a fantasy chat when Charkandrick West that announcement came out, and the guy said something that really hit me. That he was saying, Kareem Hunt got released on Friday. So all week, Spencer Ware was taking second reps or what
Yeah,
have you,
yeah.
splitting with Williams. So he had Friday, Saturday to take first team reps, and that's it. So and so with that being said, moving forward this week, he's got all week for first team reps. This Sunday or this next game will be able for me to be able to tell, okay, how confident are they with Spencer Ware? Because this game you did see he didn't have the best game, but he also didn't have that many rushes.
Yeah.
And I think that could have been. I don't think that was a lack of confidence in him. I think it was a lack of preparation they had with him going into this game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. People talk about him, and I mentioned them to them. I forget who they were. I think they were talking about the backup running backs coming along here, and who's been doing good, who's been doing bad, and they mentioned Ware in the same breath. I said, don't forget, Ware was a starter for a year. He was doggone good.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
It was an injury that took him down. Absolutely.
Because he was supposed to be starting last year and just couldn't play, and Hunt
got injured.
Just took advantage of it. But yeah, you're right.
Absolutely. I do have one thing I want to talk about. This is just kind of a random thought about fantasy leagues as a whole, and it came to my mind because of a chat that we're in together, and I seen that you mentioned something, and it seemed really interesting. And it's one of your thought process on it. If I don't have it incorrect here, someone was asking about it's a dynasty league, and someone was asking about how the seeding was going to go for the draft this upcoming year. So after the season, we got the draft coming in the Dynasty League. Obviously, you keep all of your players and you draft the rookies coming out, or I guess you can draft some people, in the pool of players left over. But for the most part, won't be a whole lot there. And you mentioned the winner of the Toilet Bowl, which is the last 6 teams typically in your league, or the teams that didn't make the playoffs. The winner of that actually gets the first pick. Is that how that goes? Is that your mindset to keep people playing throughout the year?
Yeah, that was something that I wanted to do moving forward.
Okay.
Just to keep people from tanking. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think in the league that I commissioned, I did where you can actually get your money back if you win. You can get your entry fee back, but that also takes away from the actual overall winner, the true champion of the league, because I have to give money to someone who didn't win. I actually like that idea. Now, here's the problem though. We are kind of slanting the power. The idea simply is the worst team in the league should have the first overall pick, the second round, first overall pick, so they can get better and compete next year. Now, are you doing? Is it the winner of the league gets the first pick, the runner-up gets the second pick, or is it the winner of the league gets the first pick as the prize, and then the worst team in the league is the second pick?
So the way I had it set up right now was basically, so we've got the top 6 teams going and playing for the championship.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So whoever gets 7th place will get first, 8th will get second, so on and so forth. And then as far as the championship round, those guys up there, first will still get last. So from up there, it'll go 6, 5, 4, 3,
right.
1, as far as your next pick. But I do, after that was brought to my attention, and, it is, when you're last in the league, you are like, I feel like I should get a good top pick to help my team out. And if I've been bad all year, why do you think I'm all of a sudden going to be good in the last couple of games? And that does make a lot of sense, which is why I tried to put a poll up and see what the league wanted to do. But without thinking about that, and mind you, for the people that are listening, I'm not in the top 6 or anything. I'm actually 11th in this league of 12. So I'm one of the bottom 2 teams as well. So if I don't win the consolation bracket, I won't get a high pick either. So it's not any bias or anything like that. But it was originally thought just to keep people from tanking. Halfway through the season, if somebody's 0-7 or something, they're just like, well, I'm not going to win, so I'll give up and get a first-round pick. I was trying to avoid that, but I've seen it both ways now, and it's going to something I need to think about.
Yeah. I definitely want to see how that works out. It may be that situation where the winner of the consolation bracket gets the first pick, and then the worst team gets the second pick. Still kind of, kind of puts that, worst team in a position, but at least it's not they're getting the
Right.
sixth pick because they can. Yeah, that would be. That's something to kind of work through. But I like the idea. That's a really different kind of a way to keep people from taking outside of throwing money at it, which will be good for commissions going forward. Maybe we'll have a commission segment every now and again. We just talk about commission deals where people can do some different things with their leagues and make it fun and interesting. Anyhow, if you don't have anything else, man, that's the show for tonight. Had a great time. Do you have anything else?
No, yeah, that was fantastic. I loved it. Great.
Absolutely. Well,
always love talking fantasy.
man, it's the sad thing is coming to an end. We're gonna have to watch CFL or something and keep it going. No, we'll have some stuff during the off season. We're definitely gonna talk about some of the rookies coming in. Going to help you guys in Dynasty and even some of the guys in redraft, who to expect. So we're gonna have some great stuff on that. We're talking about how to keep the off season fun for fantasy and keep the podcast going for you guys. We'll have the website and all that great stuff. So continue to come back, like the show, comment, subscribe, visit us on Instagram and on Facebook. And as usual, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Anything else, Dave, before we sign off?
Enjoy your week. First week of fantasy playoffs, you guys. Good luck to everybody that
Absolutely.
made it. Thanks for listening.
Have a good night. We're signing off. Bye now.